In gem cutting, so many gemstones are cut for their commercial value, forced into calibrated shapes without any consideration given to what a precious, rough, natural gemstone may want. But if one's inner voice is in tune with them and one listens closely, they can tell you what the best evolution is for them. Do the right thing, to me, means that each gem rough has a destiny as well as we do in life. So often in life, we do what others expect of us or what we think others want of us for approval. In gem cutting, so many gemstones are cut for their commercial value, forced into calibrated shapes without any consideration given to what a precious, rough, natural gemstone may want. You ask, how could a gemstone want something? It's just an inanimate object. I would beg to differ. They cannot walk or verbally talk. But if one's inner voice is in tune with them and one listens closely, they can tell you what the best evolution is for them. One of my mantras as a gem artist is, quote, "This mineral has been lying dormant in the earth for millions of years. I'm just about to be the one who transforms it from what it has been to what it will be for centuries to come. I need to do the right thing by it. It's my responsibility to show up, listen, and act in the right way." I also personally see it as my duty to responsibly transfer the ownership of nature's treasures. Transfer the ownership of nature's treasures. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Amazing way to look at it. To work and live by the principle of often the least amount of effort can create the greatest effect has come with years of passionate practice in my chosen art form. I've long done my 10,000 hours that experts say is needed to master a skill. So it's not without great effort and several small failures along the way that I can now just relax, observe, determine the best plan of action, and then in the least amount of time, create some of my most intricate gemstone carvings. Once one has truly mastered their craft or field of expertise, then the fun begins. Every action is elegant and done with ease. There is less experimenting and groping in the dark to find that magic. I'm now at a place in my life and art. If I can imagine it, I can create it and live it. Another principle I contemplate is the issue of right or wrong in one's actions. The origin of sin is an ancient Greek word, hamartia. Before it was interpreted by the New Testament in the Bible to mean having done bad or evil in one's life, it actually meant whether one in archery hit their mark or not. My teacher, the late Angelus Arian, PhD, used to say, there is not wrong or right in one's life. It's whether you hit your mark or not. Then I would add, with harm to no one. Harm means it has repercussions. In Hindi, they call it karma. As one of my dear Indian friends and business colleagues would say, my children's children will owe your family if I cause you harm for the next 3 generations out. Like in life, in gem art, you have really only one chance. You can't put back what you've taken away. So it is critical to be sure every act is done with complete focus and attention. Gem art is a precise art with very strong governing rules. This can be completely the opposite to, let's say, laying paint on canvas that can be free and uninhibited. In gem art, one needs to know the hardness of the material, its crystal habit, its angles of refraction if transparent, placement of inclusions, and characteristics such as cleavage and brittleness. Only with mindfulness can one form something of true beauty that can capture the natural splendor and light that lays dominant until a gem cutter does his or her magic. To be a gem artist, I have often said that one needs to be a mechanist and have a basic background in the sciences of mineralogy and gemology. One also needs the ability to evaluate gem rough for yield and weight in combination with determining the best finished shape of the rough. This skill plays most importantly in the ability to make or literally break you financially due to the high value of the material. This aspect of lapidary is very difficult and takes years to master. It is the skill between making a beautifully valued gemstone or losing lots of money and ending up with only dust going down the drain. It should be noted that all gemologists understand rough, and not all master cutters or carvers are gemologists. But having a background in mineralogy and gemology does give one a greater understanding of the medium one is working with. It is a unique art form that requires a blend of creativity, basic understanding of your machinery and the science of mineralogy, and the physics of light refraction. A synergy so powerful I have never discovered it for myself in any other art medium. Not all lapidary techniques are the same. There is the skill of faceting, which means that you place a series of flat polished surfaces in a geometric pattern on a transparent gemstone within the critical angle of that gem material in order to reflect and refract light. Then there is cutting a cabochon, which is a dome rounded surface, often in transparent to opaque gem material. And finally, to be a carver or cameo engraver, which is the most difficult of lapidary skills. As soon as one goes from doing flat surfaces and faceting and convex round surfaces on a cabochon to negative engraved carving, the skill level jumps tenfold. Along with this, as soon as one goes concave into a stone, it takes 5 times longer to achieve a polish in a negative surface. Even within carving, there are degrees of techniques such as cameo, intaglio, and finally, carving actual mini sculptures. Each of these skills require years to master. If one goes to a school in Europe and studies with a master, the program takes 8 years to complete and receive one's master diploma. Being self-taught, I found this to be true in that it took me approximately 8 years to master the many skills and learn the different techniques of cutting and carving with different gemstone material. After the first 8 years, it seemed to take me approximately a further 7 or 8 years to explore my artistic style and to freely create what my imagination could conjure up. Having shared this observation with master carvers in Adar Oberstein, many share the same experience of 14 to 16 years before coming into their own style and mastery. Mind you, one can learn the basics in a year or so, but to be able to master the many techniques and work with a wide array of different colored gemstones, which require different carving, sanding, polishing tools and techniques, this is where the years of experience is required. It is about on par with one going through a higher education to receive a PhD in one's chosen field. What tools make up a gem artist's studio? This can vary from artist to artist depending on his or her given focus and creativity. I am more of a jack of all trades that happens to really excel in the field of fluid carving. So my studio seems to have almost all the necessary tools for various levels of carving, faceting, and drilling. Starting with the carving machine, after realizing I could not go on carving forever with a flex shaft style rotary handpiece, I knew I needed to transfer over to what is known as a fixed arbor spindle. I was in the process of making one from scratch when I ventured to the tiny village of Adar Oberstein, where 500 years of perfecting the arbor specifically for gem carving and engraving seemed good enough to me. I purchased one high-speed precision Fortuna spindle, state-of-the-art in 1986, for cameo and animal carving in Adar, and one double shaft Babbitt style spindle for heavy carving and grinding. Both spindles after 30 years are still running strong and as true in my studio today as they were back then. 10 years later, I added a very small, fine single shaft Babbitt spindle used in Adar Oberstein for cameo and taglio carving. This style spindle, still used today by carvers, goes back several hundred years. The only difference today is we have motors. Back then it was either apprentice labor hand cranking the wheel, water wheel power, or a treadle style pedaling, similar to the pre-electric.